Okay, I'm going to do the America Bad thing. By the way, America Bad. Well, I mean, I don't talk like Tarzan, so America is bad at a lot of things. Hey, except making John Wayne movies. But, so what's funny about this Destiny clip I found is it says, it's called Destiny disappointed in Hassan's new America Bad defense. I love how that this like moron thinks he has the ability to be disappointed in people like he's their daddy. But he put America Bad, he misspelled defense, and then put America Bad in quotes as if Destiny said America Bad. Or I mean as if Hassan said America Bad. So here we go. This is funny. I'm just going to listen to the first few minutes of this because he reveals a lot about himself. He always accidentally says something about himself. He wants to portray himself as a liberal, but he's not because he always slips up and says some dumb shit like this.
Hamas violent actions.
A little bit.
Sunpiker is not blatantly defending Hamas violent actions.
A little bit. The notion that Hamas are bad because they're bad is stupid. Here in Algeria, the FLN, Front de Libération Nationale, was also labeled as a terrorist organization by the French occupation and their European allies. Now it's praised as a symbol of freedom. It's always the same. Yes, that's why I said the IRA as well. The IRA, the FLN, and also Mandela's party as well. Okay? The Viet Cong. Yeah. The ANC.
He's talking about how people who are, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? People who are thought of as terrorists or evil, you know, in their time, America always goes, well, actually, they were the good guys. They're always on the right side. Whenever he's talking about the times that America's opponents were or people who America's opponents, many of America's opponents,
or like the Mau Mau Revolution in the 70s. It's like now we got to accept that, like, you know, Kenya being independent is kind of a good thing.
Yeah, it's basically being on the right side of history.
The Viet Cong, the IRA,
Every single organization that, as long as they oppose the U.S. or the West, I think they are heroes. Every single one. Go live with these people. Like, why? Leave, then get out of the West. If we're the most unholy, horrible people in the universe, you have nothing good to say about us. Everybody else is more moral and more better. Why?
That's your master debater right there. First of all, his argument came down to 2 points. Number one, America good. 2, love it or leave it. That's it. That's all he's got. Now, hold on. Now, but what's really revealing, now listen to the list of things he said. First of all, America, the IRA was not against America.
Also, like, isn't it, like, if one of the things about America is our freedom, isn't part of that freedom to, I don't know, try to change American government policy? Like, for example, the policy...
That would be loving it. That would be loving America. Leaving it would not be loving it, but on. Anyways.
Sunpiker is not blatantly defending Hamas violent actions.
Let's hear this again.
A little bit. The notion that Hamas are bad...
Pay attention to the list that he said. And it sounds to me like Destiny's defending everything in there. And one of his fans already defended the invasion of Vietnam, but which would include the invasion of the bombing of Cambodia.
And Laos.
Yes.
They're bad is stupid. Here in Algeria, the FLN, Front de Libération Nationale, was also labeled as a terrorist organization by the French occupation and their European allies. Now it's praised as a symbol of freedom. It's always the same. Yes, that's why I said the IRA as well. The IRA, the FLN, and also Mandela's party as well. Okay?
South African apartheid. The anti-apartheid movement in South Africa.
Viet Cong. Yeah. The ANC, the Viet Cong, the IRA.
Every single organization that, as long as they oppose the U.S. or the West, I think they are heroes. Every single one. Go live with these people. Like, why?
Go live with those people.
Then get out of the West. If we're the most unholy, horrible people in the universe, you have nothing good to say about us. Everybody else is more moral and more better. Why are you here scraping, leeching off the society, living your best, most consumerist, hyper-capitalist life?
I'm glad you admit that you and other rich people like yourself are leeches on society. That sounds like a very socialist point of view. But hey, am I wrong to interpret that he just defended all of those? Did he just defend South African apartheid? The invasion of Vietnam?
I think you would call it Rhodesia.
But am I wrong in interpreting that way? Am I being uncharitable?
No.
Did he say, or because he didn't sound like he was agreeing with Hassan. It sounded like he was disagreeing with Hassan. That these are all bad people. That Mandela was a bad person. That Ho Chi Minh was a bad person. It sounds like what he's saying.
Every single instance, it is so weird that every single instance where
the West is the enemy, I think the other side is right. That is weird.
It is weird that you don't consider Ireland part of the West, but okay.
is a liberatory group. There's an emancipatory force.
I don't even know what West
that
means,
actually is violently trying to engage in an act of revolution, trying to violently engage in an act of emancipation, violently resisting against an unimaginable, untold amount of violence caused by the occupying entity under the legal structure designed by the Western world. They're always the enemies. They're always the terrorists. They're always the bad guys. Okay? They're always the bad guys. Between
until 20 years later, when they're considered 20, 30, 40 years later, when they're considered the good guys. Except to everybody, except for Destiny, apparently. Oh, by the way.
I don't know. Also, maybe if you didn't want there to be Hamas, maybe Israel shouldn't have tried to block Fatah because they were getting too close to a peace deal.
This is the guy that said, by the way, first he said that Israel was not blockading aid. He was denying that Israel was blockading aid. And then later on he said, and then somebody said, yeah, but they won't even let people bring cookies in. He goes, oh, but they use cookies for rocket fuel. But wait a second. And then he starts, and to this day, he will not stop saying that.
First of all, blockading aid to Gaza is nothing new. In 2009, the flotillas where they were targeting ships that were trying to bring aid.
He had that explained to him by somebody whose friend was on that flotilla. Anyways, yeah, I just think that's funny. By the way, so I have two things to say about that. By the way, he is right about the cookies being used for rocket fuel, because that's why we are implementing a 7-day waiting period on Oreos in New York. That's why, because they're seriously dangerous. Also, I am legally obligated to say this. You might wonder where he got the name Destiny from. He did it as an homage to Miley Cyrus, like most people. He's a huge Miley Cyrus fan. And her original name, her birth name, was Destiny Cyrus. She changed it to Miley because Destiny is a boy's name.